All right, I have a screen recorder on my smartphone, and Google actually let me download my own app under my own account, which they did not used to do. It was a real nuisance. Anyway, this math instruction app has 5 lessons on it. The time clock, I've got my finger on the bird. I don't know if you can tell. So midnight, this is the sun and the earth. And so looking down on the earth from above the North Pole. And then sunrise about 6 a.m. Sun's overhead about noon. Sunset about 1800 hours. I've got this on the 24-hour time clock. And then midnight again. So that's the first one is a time clock. And then the second lesson is angle measure. Down in the lower left corner, you can see the equivalent. For each hour, it's pi radians over 12, yeah, and 50 gons over 3, and 15 degrees. And so you just multiply by the number of hours. And then circle geometry, sector area is 1/2 the angle measure, which I have in radians, times r squared. And arc length is the angle measure. Again, I have it in radians times r. And then trigonometry, opposite side over hypotenuse. And again, I measure the angle in radians. And then Pythagorean Theorem, which, since the sides are listed, you can see them here on the circle, the vertical distance from the baseline and the horizontal distance from the baseline, those at each hour. And you can use those for the x, y, and distances, lengths. The hypotenuse in this case is always 1. It's the radius. And that's it. The menu has the instructions for those 5 things I just mentioned. I noticed before that the number 4 is supposed to say trigonometry. Oh, so many details. Try and track. And then the graphs, the static graphs for the 6 basic trig functions. And then, let me see, the splash screen. SineOfTheTime was the original name of the app. And I like that still, but I put Math Bird on it because it sounded catchier. A bird flying around the earth. Of course, at the top is the sine and cosine values that track with the angle measure. And let me see, Rated App Store website. Oh yeah, the clock. If you push the clock button in the upper right, turn it on, it automatically jumps to the current time of day. And then you can it turns itself off when you grab the bird with your finger and start scrolling again. All right, let me see how this screen recorder worked for me. The nubs on the inside of the circle are each full radian. 1, 2, 3, pi at here, halfway around. 4, 5, 6, and 2 pi at full circle. Okay, hit the clock button again. It's time of day, 10:31. And now let me see if I can close this recording.